Hello, and welcome to Nevada State High School's Campus Safety Playing It Safe tutorial for all students. Use the guide bar at the bottom of the presentation to navigate through the presentation. Go ahead, click the forward button now to begin the presentation. During this tutorial, we will discuss what safety resources almost all college campuses have, safety precautions you can take, and personal health choices you can make to keep yourself safe. At the end of the presentation, you will take a 5-question quiz. Follow along closely and let's get started. Click to the next slide when you are ready. College can be some of the best years of your life. Just think about it. Finally on your own, new friends, the freedom to make your own choices, to study what you want and when you want. On the other hand, college campuses can be a bit overwhelming and scary if you are not prepared. The specific safety precautions you will need to take and the safety procedures you will need to follow will be different depending on what your college campus is like. However, most campuses share some significant commonalities in their safety resources and tips that will keep you safe. College campuses have a wide variety of safety resources designed to protect the people on campus, prevent crime, and handle emergencies. This tutorial will highlight the main resources. Most campuses have a designated police or public safety force. At some campuses, there are sworn police officers with the same duties, rights, and responsibilities as the local police force. The campus police genuinely handle any matters arising in their jurisdiction, on campus, whether it's a speeding ticket, an underage drinking violation, a felony crime like rape, or anything in between. They often do educational outreach programs as well. Campus patrol may be conducted by the police or public safety force, but there also may be a volunteer student safety patrol organization. Many campuses have security cameras both inside the buildings and outside on campus. Click to the next slide when you are ready. As part of their mission to prevent crime, many campuses also offer various safety education training, programs, and events for students, faculty, and staff. These may include things like self-defense training, drug and alcohol awareness, sexual assault awareness, registration and identification of valuables, for example, engraving identifying numbers on your laptop case in case it is stolen, and personal safety seminars. Nighttime campus escorts may be available to walk you to and from late-night classes or the library. Emergency alert systems may include multiple ways of notifying students, faculty, and staff, and the community in emergency or urgent situations. This can include some or all of the following components: a campus siren, a loudspeaker, an email alert, a text message or a phone call alert, public address safety announcement in buildings, and many more. These alerts could be activated for anything from a tornado warning to an armed gunman. It is very important that you make sure you keep all of your information current with your school. Each campus has a number of different emergency plans in place that go into effect in the event of specific critical situations. These plans often tie into the emergency alert system to let students, faculty, and staff and visitors know what to do while the police and first responders stabilize the situation. Click to the next slide when you are ready. Most campuses have emergency blue light call boxes strategically located throughout the campus. These lights have an emergency call button that connects directly to the campus police station, along with a speaker that lets you talk to a dispatch operator. When you push the button, it alerts the dispatch of the specific location of the blue light that's been activated, and on many campuses, the nearest police officer is immediately notified and dispatched to that location. At the same time, you can speak to the operator through the speaker. Virtually every campus tour and other introductory events mention these call boxes, so pay attention when they're pointed out so that you know what they look like on your campus. As you get acquainted with campus, note where the lights are located so that you'll have a basic mental map of them just in case you ever need help. Although the lights should not be abused, it is important to know that they've been installed specifically for the purpose of helping students. You shouldn't hesitate to use them at any time you need assistance from the campus police. Students sometimes assume that they must be reserved only for the most dire of emergencies. However, you can and should use these lights for any type of emergency or urgent situation when you need campus police involved. One more thing to keep in mind is that if you feel unsafe stopping at a blue light to wait for the campus police to arrive, for example, you think you're being followed, you can simply press the button on the blue light and keep walking. These call boxes are often located fairly close to each other, so you can continue on to the next one and press that button as you walk by as well. The campus police will use the order in which you activate the call boxes to figure out where you're headed and catch up with you. Click to the next slide when you are ready. Though each college campus is different and offers many different resources, most campuses offer student support services to assist you. During orientation, check what kind of services your campus offers. Click to the next slide when you are ready. The best way to find out the truth about college campus safety is to ask the people who are most familiar with the campus. When you visit campuses, ask questions about safety. You will be able to tell a lot about the college if they are open and honest about the incidents and crimes that occur on the campus and the steps they have taken to ratify the situations, or if they try and cover up the problems. The truth is, all college campuses have some crime, whether it's big or small. But the level of honesty in which it is handled tells you far more about the school. Do not be afraid to read news coverage of the local area and visit websites designed specifically to find out this data. Click to the next slide when you are ready. This slide and the next highlight the best resources and information available on college campus safety. The rising sexual assault statistics on campuses have recently warranted increased advocacy and creation of a White House task force focused on addressing this issue with the seriousness it demands. Click to the next slide when you are ready. Existing federal legislation requires colleges and universities to disclose their security policies, keep a public crime log, publish an annual crime report, and provide timely warnings to students and campus employees about a crime posing an immediate or ongoing threat to students and the campus employees. Take some time to look through these links at the colleges you are considering to see what information you find, or hopefully do not find. It just may help you make that final decision on which college to attend. Click to the next slide when you are ready. Even with all the safety resources a campus may provide, it is critical for students to exercise caution and practice smart safety habits. Many students quickly come to feel at home and safe on campus, and in fact, most college campuses are relatively safe places to be. However, falling into a false sense of invulnerability makes you a potential target. Keeping the following tips in mind when you are on campus will help make your campus experience safer. In addition, these tips work best when they are used in conjunction with each other. One of the most important tips for personal safety on campus is to always lock up. This includes your doors first and foremost. The door to your room or suite should be kept locked, and your campus living department may even have a rule or guideline about accessing doors or fobs that are set only to allow residents to open the main doors. In these cases, the doors automatically lock behind you. However, be aware of whether the door locks immediately upon closing or whether the lock takes a few seconds to engage. There's a practice called tailgating or piggybacking, in which people you don't know or shouldn't belong in the building wait for a person with a key to enter and then follow them in before the door locks to gain access to the building. Tailgating can be an awkward situation because the social pressure to be polite and hold the door open for someone coming in behind you is significant. However, this is one situation where it is absolutely appropriate to let safety override manners. Unless you are 100% certain that that person trying to tailgate is a permanent resident of the building, do not let them in. A little social awkwardness could be the difference in determining a crime. Finally, be sure to lock your car doors as soon as you get into your car and keep them locked unless someone is getting in or out. If you have a car that automatically locks the doors when you shift out of park or reach a certain speed, don't rely solely on that system. Get in the habit of locking the door as soon as you close it. Click to the next slide when you are ready. The other category of things to lock up are your valuables. If you're taking a bike to campus, the first thing you need is a good lock. Find out what kind of lock the campus police department recommends and get that tight. Then find out the most effective way to use it and get in the habit of consistently locking up your bike in that way. It may take an extra minute to lock your bike up the right way, but with how common bike theft is on campuses, it's well worth that time. When it comes to other valuable items, think long and hard about whether you really need to bring that item to campus. Obviously, there are some expensive items that will have to come with you, such as your laptop and cell phone. However, consider whether you can do without some of the other items you're planning on bringing. Good examples include jewelry, cameras, game consoles, and other electronics, musical or sports equipment, etc. If you have a less valuable alternative, bring that instead. For example, leave your prized possession guitar at home and bring your old practice guitar with you. Don't carry it around unless you can afford to lose it. For example, if you're an avid photographer and have a really nice camera, leave it locked up in your dorm room unless you're actively using it. This also includes things like cash, personal documents such as birth certificates, social security cards, etc., and credit cards and debit cards. If it's locked up, it's harder to lose. Plus, carrying much cash around makes you a potential target. Finally, for the valuables that you bring on campus, make sure you have a lockbox in your room. You can find relatively inexpensive lockboxes, fireproof boxes, or miniature safes that are all small enough to store in your room but large enough to hold your valuables. More importantly, they're heavy enough to be inconvenient for a thief to grab and run, not to mention conspicuous to see somebody running across campus. Alternatives to the lockbox or mini safe are locking a trunk or a footlocker, or at least a small locking filing cabinet. Finally, have your parents help you find out whether the items to bring on campus are still covered by their homeowner's insurance or renter's insurance. Policies differ in whether items stored outside the home are covered, and you may want to look into purchasing a separate renter's insurance policy if you have anything really valuable that wouldn't be covered by your parents' policy while you're at school. These policies usually are inexpensive, easy to set up, and provide a peace of mind in case anything goes missing. Click to the next slide when you are ready. Another crucially important way to keep yourself safe on campus is to use the buddy system anytime you're walking somewhere after dark. The more people you can have in your group, the better. Don't be shy about developing a buddy system with a group of friends and acquaintances. If you all look out for each other, there will always be someone to accompany you when you need to run an errand or park your car after dark, because they know you'll be there for them when the roles are reversed. This is one situation where it pays to be persistent in seeking out a buddy, since it could very well make a difference in deterring a crime. When students go to college, their new independence can be very liberating. They don't have to tell their parents where they are going or check in with anyone. However, as a new college student, it is critical for you to understand the importance of letting someone know where you are going, who you are going with, and when you plan to return. Your roommate is a great person to share this information with. If you set up a system at the beginning of the year where you each keep the other posted on your whereabouts, you'll know you'll always have someone who knows to look out for you if you don't turn up when expected. You don't even have to be overly specific, as long as someone has a general idea of where you are in case something does happen. Click to the next slide when you are ready. In addition to the buddy system, here are some more tips on how to travel safely on your campus. Be observant. Most people are oblivious to their surroundings because their minds are elsewhere. Being on a college campus can lull students into a false sense of security, but it's important to learn to pay attention to where you are and what people are doing around you. Don't assume that this only applies after dark or in certain areas. Remember that being observant happens with your ears open, not just your eyes. If you're listening to music while walking around campus, don't drown out the sounds around you. You should be able to hear your surroundings no matter where you are. Another aspect of safe travel is to look confident and aware of your surroundings. It's not enough to be aware, looking like you are aware is important too. This next tip is related to walking confidently and particularly relevant during the time period when you're still getting your bearings on campus. Until you know the campus like the back of your hand, it is all too easy to get turned around, confused, or lost while walking from one place to another. Before you leave, make sure you know where you're going and the best route to get there. Looking confused or lost or stopping to get your bearings can make you a potential target, so be sure that you look like you know where you're going, even if you're not sure. Of course, choosing the safest route is also part of this. After dark, it's important to choose routes that will take you through well-lit areas where there are likely to be the most people around. Shortcuts can be tempting when you're in a hurry, but a longer route full of potential witnesses is likely to be much safer. Finally, most campuses offer a basic safety protection class that will teach you self-awareness and escape skills. Taking one of these is a good idea and can provide you with additional information specific to your own campus. Click to the next slide when you are ready. A very basic safety measure is to always make sure you have your cell phone with you. For most students, remembering their cell phone isn't the problem. Remembering to keep the battery charged is. To ensure it's charged when you need it, get in the habit of plugging it in at a specific time every day, like before you go to bed. You may also want to consider keeping a spare charger with a car adapter in your car. Before you get to college, program all the emergency phone numbers you might need into your phone. This includes typical ones like the campus police and local police, but also make sure to have the numbers for the crisis hotline, local hospital or urgent care, the student health center, student counseling center, after hours campus transportation or your safety escort, local taxi company, and any others you can think of. Click to the next slide when you are ready. Finally, a lot of personal safety on campus boils down to making smart decisions. The best way to prevent problems is to avoid putting yourself in a situation that has a high potential to be unsafe. The people you spend time with have a big influence over your safety. Choosing your friends and acquaintances wisely goes a long way towards staying safe. Plus, if you and your friends are all looking out for each other, each of you can help the others to make smart decisions that won't put any of you in unnecessary risk. This applies to social situations you put yourself into. If you don't know and trust someone, don't go with them. If you feel uncomfortable or awkward saying that you don't want to do something or go somewhere because of how it makes you feel with the people involved, then make up an excuse. Although honesty is the best policy in a lot of situations, there's nothing wrong with using a little white lie to remove yourself from a situation you feel might be unsafe. Don't let your desire to avoid social awkwardness or discomfort put you in any danger. In making decisions about safety, sometimes you will need to simply trust your instincts. Listen to that little voice or alarm bell in your head that alerts you to potential danger. If you have a gut feeling that something isn't right, pay attention to it. Humans have evolved with instincts designed to keep us alive. If your gut is telling you to watch out, there's probably a good reason for it, even if you can't really figure out what it is. Although the main purpose of college is to further develop your intellectual and academic side, there's nothing wrong with using this time to experience and to grow in social and recreational pursuits as well. In other words, college is and should be a lot of fun. You'll have plenty of time to enjoy the social situations, and you should take advantage of those opportunities. However, you need to do this responsibly and in moderation. When you get to campus, pay attention to the safety tips you get and how to party safely. You might be surprised to learn that some of the students with the most active social lives are those that follow the most rigorous safety guidelines. Click to the next slide when you are ready. Once you start college, you owe it to yourself to become educated about parties, alcohol, and sexual activity. This education and these facts should be the truth, and no matter how hard, these truths should not be clouded by peer pressure or your so-called friends. Remember, college is a time to discover who you really are and want to be. But keep in mind, the consequences of the decisions you make on a daily basis in college can have long-lasting repercussions that will follow you the rest of your life. Making safe, smart choices now benefits you both today and in the future. Click to the next slide when you are ready. This is college, and yes, there are parties, and yes, it's okay to go to parties. Here's a list of party do's. Go to parties with your friends. Only the friends you trust. Leave parties with friends you trust. Again, only the friends you trust. Have fun. No, really, have a good time. Protect your drinks from drugs. Drinks as in water, soda, Red Bull, because remember, the legal drinking age is 21 in every city in the United States of America. Underage drinking can lead to big fines, jail time, expulsion from school, and losing any and all scholarships and grants. Do make a scene if you feel pressured or threatened. Again, if you're there with your friends, they'll have your back. And report anything that makes you feel uncomfortable. Who knows who you could be saving just because of your instincts? Click to the next slide when you're ready. Some people think that alcohol will make them have a better time or have more fun, but alcohol is a depressant. In other words, what goes up must come down. It slows down the central nervous system and takes away basic brain functions, motor coordination, and cognitive processing. Too much alcohol and you become the person falling over, slurring their words. Is that really how you want people to remember you? Click to the next slide when you are ready. Here are some of the most important rules about drinking. Don't drink from punch bowls or large open containers. You have no idea what's in them, nor do you want to find out. Pour your own drinks. This way you know what's in them. And yes, this includes soda, water, and Red Bull. You do not have to drink to have a good time. Don't accept drinks from others. Do I have to say it again? You have no idea what's in it. And the legal age is 21 in the United States. If you are not 21 yet, don't drink. It's that simple. Your friends shouldn't be pressuring you, and if they are, they aren't your friends. Click to the next slide when you are ready. More than 75% of acquaintance rapes involve alcohol used by the victim or perpetrator. Alcohol can have some serious consequences, and unfortunately, most of the time, you aren't even aware you drank too much until it's too late. Click to the next slide when you are ready. The White House Task Force to Protect Students from Sexual Assault released their first report in April of 2014, leading with a chilling statistic. 1 in 5 college students experience a sexual assault during their college career. Think about that. 1 in 5. How many people are in the room with you right now? How many would 1 in 5 be? Does that number surprise you? Click to the next slide when you are ready. It is important that you understand sexual assault is a traumatic experience for anyone. It can happen anywhere and to anyone. Yes, anyone. Sexual assault is a crime of violence, never about love or affection. It is about power and control. Most campuses have counselors to help victims battle through the feelings and can point the victims in the direction of how to report the crime and to whom. Click to the next slide when you are ready. The best thing you can do as a friend of a victim of a sexual assault is to always believe a victim. Don't blame them for what they may have done or worn. Reaffirm them that this is not their fault. Try and offer a safe environment. Check with your college of what type of student support services they may offer. And do not blame the victim. Be patient and supportive. It will take time for this person to heal emotionally and sometimes physically. Be patient. Click to the next slide when you are ready. It is important that you understand that consent of any sexual activity is not present if a person says no in any way at any point, no matter when, or a person is unable to give consent to sexual contact because of a disability, age, or the influence of drugs, alcohol, or medication, whether they are asleep or unconscious. This is the law. Click to the next slide when you are ready. It's important to know that consent of any sexual activity is not present just because consensual sex may have occurred once, or even if you are in a serious relationship with the person. I know you've heard it before, but truly, no means no every time. Click to the next slide when you are ready. You are now ready to begin the activity, Campus Safety, Playing It Safe. Click to the next slide when you are ready. In this activity, you will read the following scenarios and answer honestly as to what you would do in each situation. If you are unsure what you would do, that would be a good question to ask your partner. When you'll finish answering all the scenarios, find a partner and discuss your thoughts and ideas with each other. Click to the next slide when you are ready. It's a done deal. We've completed the presentation for Campus Safety. You now have valuable information regarding free safety resources offered to all college students on campus, tips to keep you safe, and information about the potential danger of not knowing your limits or trusting your instincts. Now, let's take a short 5-question quiz on your understanding of the tutorial. Click to the next slide when you are ready. Let's go through a couple of things before you begin your 5-question quiz, including number 1. After answering each question, click Next. Number 2. After answering all the questions from the quiz, click Submit All. Number 3. You will have only 2 opportunities to take the quiz and earn as many points as possible. Number 4. The quiz is worth a total of 50 points. Take your time and read each question carefully. Click to the next slide when you are ready to begin.